It's yet another A-10, and it's a big improvement over the original second version. Hey there, I'm John, this is Two Brothers RC, and this is the Freewing A-10 64mm version 3. Unlike someone in recent memory with a large YouTube channel, I didn't buy this plane just to say it sucks by poorly assembling it and ensuring it would suck. I actually spent the time to set it up correctly so it would perform, and it's actually really nice. It's got a few flaws here and there, but nothing out of the ordinary for a freewing jet. It's fast, it's powerful, and it's maneuverable. So let's dive into it and see how it stacks up to the no patent pending Two Brothers review system. Before we get into the maneuverability section, let's start by giving you my actual opinion of the Freewing A-10 Warthog, and clarify up front that I'm still getting over a cold, so I might sound kinda weird. I went into this assuming it would be too heavy to fly very well, and it certainly is heavy, but it doesn't fly poorly. In fact, it flies awesome. Chalk up another win in favor of ignoring published wing load or weight info. Wing loading isn't everything. People who do think wing loading is everything generally spend more time theory crafting instead of flying, so fly the damn plane and stop worrying about weight. Don't be a weight weenie. It's got great details, it looks awesome, it flies incredibly well, but it still has a few issues. So let's dive into it and find out what they are. First up in the maneuverability checklist, we look for whether the Warthog is prone to stalling while maneuvering, otherwise known as an accelerated stall. As usual for any Warthog, the answer is no. It's very maneuverable. You can even pull the stick for high-speed gun runs without stalling it. Other jets might drop a wing in this maneuver, but the Warthog won't. That's a pass. The battery bay on this jet is well designed, giving you the ability to place the center of gravity right over the main wheels if you want to. I flew exclusively on SMC 4400 LiPo packs and found that the CG was spot on about 20mm behind the recommended marks, or directly over the main wheels. That's a pass too. Taking off is simple. Throttle up slowly to full to avoid loading up the nose wheel and make it go in random directions, then rotate and fly. Landing is like any other Warthog. Fly it down with power on the backside of the throttle stick, flare gently onto the mains, and watch it ease on the wheels like a goose coming in to land on a lake. That's another pass. It definitely has adequate thrust for most maneuvers. Out of several days of flying it, I never noticed a lack of power at any point. It uses outrunner motors, which is less than ideal, but obviously still flyable, because you've been watching me fly it this entire time. I don't care much for the electric whining sound that they make, but otherwise I didn't notice any issues with the outrunners. It won't hover, but you're not hovering an A-10 anyhow, not without thrust vectoring. That's a pass. Stall recovery is super simple. Let off the elevator stick, power up, and gently pull out of whatever mess you got yourself into. If you're flying low to the ground on the approach, avoid yanking it around to turn it. Let it make big, graceful turns and you'll have no problems. That's a pass and a 5 out of 5 in this section. Moving onward to flight time, it's generally given that most jets won't reach more than an average of 4 minutes of flying. The Freewing A-10 defies those expectations by averaging over 5 minutes, with 6 minutes being my general experience flying on SMC 4400 LiPo batteries. I could probably fly even longer with SMC 5200 LiPos or push it further with SMC 5900 HV2 packs. It's very efficient and still very powerful, though it does use outrunner motors as mentioned earlier, and it passes here with a 5 out of 5 in this section. Moving into the landing gear section of this review, let's cover the wheels. They're functional, for sure, operated on both grass and pavement, which is a pass. Freewing's been getting better with their hard wheel problem. Unfortunately, these wheels are still stiff and don't have much, if any, give to them. this still leads to shocks traveling up the struts and attacking the foam at the mounting points, which does fail this check. The jet features an absolutely fantastic suspension system that I would confidently say is the best that I've seen on a 64mm jet. The suspension isn't stiff and you can see it in action while the jet rolls down the runway. Pass. The gear did require low maintenance, and it did work flawlessly every time I told it to operate. That's 2 final passes for a grand total of 4 out of 5. Before we move on to the fit and finish and avionics sections, there's 4 things I want to chat about first. If you'd like to help us fund airplanes like this to review, please consider being a channel member via twobrosrc.com/supporters, which definitely helps make videos like this possible. The US distributor for Freewing refuses to send out airplanes to demo, thus making it an entirely out-of-pocket expense to do this for you. We'd appreciate any and all help to continue reviewing Freewing models, because they're anything but free. Also, consider scrolling down a little and hit that like button for me. If you're not already subscribed to Two Brothers, definitely consider doing it. And if you're not already part of our Discord chat server community of nearly 3,500 people at this point, hop down to the description below, join up, and chat airplanes with us. Now, let's focus on fit and finish, and we'll start by going over how easy and fast it is to assemble. The 2 carbon rods for the wings can be stored internally. Take them out, slide them in place, put the wings on and slide them into the fuselage, then go to town on pressing the 4 wing lock buttons once you have the wings in place. It's fast and efficient and very simple to do. First up, the paint on this thing is typical Freewing quality, that is to say, absolutely impeccable, which is obviously a pass. The foam is also typical Freewing quality, really nice and dense, with no weirdness or oddities that I could spot. That's another pass. The hinges for all the control surfaces aren't gapless, but they are plastic reinforced. No foam hinges to be found here. That's a pass. Once more, in typical Freewing fashion, this jet is covered in waterslide decals. No bullshit stickers to be found here. That's another pass. There's 2 ducts just in front of the battery hatch that allow air to flow through the Warthog and out the butthole of the jet, giving the battery the ability to cool itself while you throw it around in the sky. That's our final pass and a total of 5 out of 5. Our final checkpoint is Avionics and Lighting, and I'm finally starting to feel better, so my voice is mostly coming back. This is also a great area for the Warthog because, as usual, it excels at what Freewing does best, which is be a solid airplane with very few flaws. First up, the servos are metal. They're not very precise, but they're flyable and they're strong. You're probably not going to strip them or crash from servo failure. At least I couldn't force it to do that, and I'm flying this A-10 harder than most people will. That's a pass. The dual 50 amp ESCs didn't show any signs of overheating at all, but it's also fall here in North Carolina to be fair, so the ambient temperature is significantly cooler than it is in summer. However, I don't think this would be any issue in summer either. That's a pass too. It does contain lighting, and it does appear to be correct, and the formation lighting that Freewing insists on tacking onto the plane is not only the right color, green instead of blue, which is such a low bar I can't believe they got it correct this time around, it's also able to be turned off completely, unlike the blue variant. So that's a pass. I'll cover how to adjust the lighting here at the end of the chapter so that you can turn it on or off at your own whim. The servos can't be easily replaced, or at least the tail servos can't be. The wing servos have helpful servo doors that you can unscrew to replace the servos. The empennage, aka the tail, has glued-in servos which are annoying to replace, and that's me being as nice as I can be about that. Fortunately, you don't really need to replace the servos, probably, because you'll crash the plane long before the servos start acting up from old age, but you know, it's still a fail here. The battery tray is exceptionally well designed. You can stuff a huge battery into this if you wanted to, but I would suggest that you don't push your luck. SMC 4400 packs are the best balance of thrust-to-weight ratio and wing loading. While there is no point in being a gomer that worries about cubic wing load, that doesn't mean that you should go to the opposite side of the spectrum and run a battery that's too heavy for the wings to carry properly. That's a pass, and the Warthog earns a 4 out of 5 here. Before we move on to the final scoring here, let's discuss a few things. First, here's how you turn off the formation lighting. Freewing doesn't make this easy, but it is possible. Before you install the horizontal stabilizer, unplug the two LEDs from the circuit board, attach those LED wires to a Y harness, and attach that harness to a long servo extension. Run the extension through the empennage and up to the middle of the jet where the battery hatch is. Before you do all of that though, make sure you cut the signal lead off of the extension plug so that it becomes a 2-wire plug where it would plug into the receiver or whatever you end up plugging it into. Next, unplug the front formation lights from the blue box. They're plugged into the tab named Light on the board. Unscrew the battery tray and zip tie the leads together so you can easily find them later on. From here, you can simply plug the leads into the board whenever you want to turn the lights on, or you can be fancy and use the LED controller that Chuck the Modfather on Discord suggested, which is linked below. If you use the controller, you need an extra channel to operate it, so I used a Spectrum 8360T receiver to give me that channel, along with having a channel for the nose wheel so I could stabilize it and trim it without needing to pick up the jet and fiddle with a screwdriver. If you need help with the lighting controller, hop on Discord and ask for help. It's really simple and should be straightforward, and allows you to control the lighting from the transmitter via 3 preset modes: on, off, or grab your glow sticks, it's a rave! Next up, here's the gyro gains I used on the 8360T receiver. Note, as always with jets that we feature on this channel, these recommended gains are throttle-based gains. Once more, these are throttle-based gains. Reference our NX radio tutorial linked at the top right to set up throttle-based gains if you don't know how, otherwise you will encounter oscillation. Ask on Discord for help in the Tech and Setup channel if you're still confused after watching the NX radio video. That about covers it. So the final score of the Freewing A-10 tallies up to 23 out of 25. That's fantastic. Outside of the hard wheels and the glued-in servos and the empennage, the Warthog shines very brightly in the sky. Yes, it's expensive, but what isn't these days? It flies great, and if you love Warthogs, you will thoroughly enjoy this. Maybe even more than the Twin 80, because, at least, the formation lights are correct, and are also way easier to turn on or off. Yes, I did manage it with the 80, and you'll see how to do it next year. Huge thanks as always goes out to our channel members on twobrosrc.com/supporters for making it possible to buy this jet to demo for you. Again, I need to mention, the US distributor for Freewing will not send out these jets, so you guys totally make it possible for us to do this for you. Very special thanks goes out to our mega fans, Sarasota RC Squadron, Michael Smith, JR Man, Todd, N411X, and Jeff Baker, along with our Ultra fan, TBRC fan. You guys kick so much ass. Coming up soon will be the 1-year follow-up review on the Freewing F-22 80mm, still the best Raptor you can buy for the money. See you guys next week.